Hello everybody, Jordy at Carving Fusion here. This is going to be a very beginning Dremel carving video, how to carve a wood spirit with a Dremel. All you need is these two bits. I'll talk more about them later in the video. And this sanding mandrel with the Scotch-Brite. And if you follow the steps, you will carve a wood spirit, something like this. It's not going to look like this, it's going to be your own, but you will be able to carve something like this. I guarantee it. Hello again. It's been a while on this channel. Um, I'm sorry about that. I've been busy with my other channel. If you guys don't know, it's my other channel is just Carving Fusion by Jordy Johnson. So I figured it's a good time to make a video for this channel for the very beginner Dremel carver. Before we even get into talking about the wood, I'm saying that I'm running this is a Dremel 4000 with a Dremel flex shaft. All right. The burrs I'm going to be using are Kutzall burrs. This is the Kutzall Extreme Flame Burr. You guys want to get these burrs? Just go to the description down below. It'll take you to the Kutzall site. Use the code CFusion to save yourself 5%. So I'm also hooked up to a foot pedal. It's not speed control. The foot pedal, well, I might as well just show you. I got 4 of them down there. The center one is you guys can just buy a cheap one off Amazon. It just works for like a on-off switch, so you don't have to keep on going to your Dremel and turning it on off by hand. Now when I use this flex shaft, like I said, this is for the very beginner. When I use this flex shaft, I always run the Dremel full speed. It's always turned up maximum. When I use this flex shaft, sometimes I push harder and sometimes I push lighter. So I'm always running at full speed just to let you guys know. So I hope that takes care of that. If you can't afford a Dremel, I suggest getting the Wen, the blue or orange Wen, like WEN, or a Tack Life. The Dremel flex shafts do connect to the Wens or the Tack Lifes. Sometimes it's a little bit tricky to hook up the Dremel flex shaft to the Wen or Tack Life, but I do have videos on my other channel how to connect the flex shaft to the Wens or the Tack Lifes. All right, so let's get on to the wood. So like I said earlier, this is a piece of bark. It comes from the cottonwood tree. It's called black cottonwood. The tree is called black cottonwood. There's a little bug hole in here. This cottonwood is a little bit wet. You can see where it's darker there. Carving wet wood makes it kind of fuzzy, but we'll try our best to take care of that. This is about, I'd say 14 inches long. 14 inches long. We got about 3 inches thickness there this way, and about 3 inches thickness that way. So when you're doing bark, pretend this gray stuff here is like the bark on the wood. That's what I think of. So when I want to do a wood spirit or any type of carving, it's best to get yourself some free wood to practice on for the very beginners. This bark, you can buy it online. It's like if you go on eBay or something, but it's not cheap. That's for sure. So I suggest going to the beach, getting some driftwood, finding some branches, or like going to the forest, finding some old wood to practice on the free wood. I think that's the best. So this piece, like I was saying, the bark. I pretend this gray stuff is the bark on this driftwood. On this cottonwood bark. So what I'm going to do with my Dremel is I'm going to go around and I'm going to clean up the area where I want to carve the wood spirit, if that makes sense. Because then when you clean up the area, like say if you got a branch, you slice it in half and you got the bark on it and you can't just peel the bark off, at least when you clean up the area where you want to carve, that way you can look at the wood, because sometimes there's bug holes underneath the bark. Sometimes there's weird deformities in the wood underneath the bark that you don't see with the bark on it. So cleaning it up makes it safe. You can see what's going on. You can get rid of the bad wood, and because there'll be no surprises. Say like if we're doing a wood spirit, we want to carve eyes on it, but we carve a bit deeper, and all of a sudden we see a friggin', who knows, a worm pops his head out of the hole or something. Believe me, it's happened to me. I've had ants, spiders, everything in the wood, termites, you name it. Dragons, not dragons. I'm giving you guys the wider view, but sometimes, like you see, I got a screwdriver here. Sometimes with this bark, it's really shaly, like a slate. So sometimes you could peel some layers off. This wood is still pretty wet. I should have decided to I should have picked a drier piece to carve, but it is what it is, and I'll let you guys see the struggles carving wet wood. I suggest to carve dry wood. So now, where do we want to carve our wood spirit here? Um, I think I'm going to kind of do the top like this on this one, like it's just shaped like that. You could get a pen, you could draw on. Make sure that you're not going to draw on where you want to leave the old wood, because I do want to leave some of this gray part on the wood, right? So let's go like this, down here, like this, down here. Now I'm going to cut on those lines. You guys can't probably see on the camera, but you see a line down here, line here. I'm going to cut the wood below there and remove some of this wood on here. We'll start doing real speed, but then we'll switch to time lapse. Okay, so I thought I was filming, but I wasn't. But what I did is I carved on those pen lines right here and right here, and started removing the wood. But I want to show you guys, like with the foot pedal, it makes your life so much easier. It's hands-free. Like watch this, on and off. It's so good to use hands-free, and also the flex shaft makes it feel like you're carving with a pencil instead of holding the big Dremel in your hand and trying to carve with that. And then another thing too, once again, these burrs, the Kutzall burs, it's a game changer too, so try to upgrade to these burrs too. They carve way faster and better than any type of Dremel bits. So I'll keep removing this wood. We'll zoom in a bit here. Oh, yeah, there we go. Oh, stand by. Okay, we got it zoomed in a bit for this Dremel, beginner Dremel carving. Okay, so here's a perfect example for the bark. Look at that piece fly off. Perfect. Means we have to carve less here. So you guys can see how fast this bird does carve. Watch this. And so since this is a very beginner's video, do not think you have to carve as fast and heavy as I do. I'm kind of a freak of nature when I come to carving, but I'll do my best to slow down. Okay. Okay, so you guys can see that I've cleaned up the bark. I want to say for the very beginner Dremel carvers, this bark, sometimes you're going to have pieces like this come off the top layer. So I always suggest make sure that you get, sometimes when you're carving the wood with your bit, you'll hear kind of like a rattle. You'll hear a different noise, like something rattling. So when you hear that rattling, you know that you're going to have a piece that's going to fly off like this. Okay, if you can understand that, you'll just have to hear that noise. That's when you stop, you look at your piece, you inspect it, pretend this is still on there full solid. That's when I get the screwdriver. I look to see there's a crack there. I get my screwdriver, I put it in there, and I pop this piece off. It saves you from carving it. I can see there's a little one here. See? You're going to get that with the top layer of the bark. So that's why it's so good to also clean up the outside of your bark, because here's a bug hole I never saw before. There's another one right here that I never saw before, and we got a little indent there that I never saw before too, but that's absolutely nothing. So always take the time to prepare your wood. Make sure you know what you got and what you're working with, and then it will be a lot easier if you spend the time to prepare it first than doing it when you're into the carving. So here's a pen. Stand by. Okay, I got a black pen on. So what we're going to do is, and remember for my regular subscribers, this is a very big beginner's video for Dremel carvers. I'm going to leave it very simple and basic so people can understand and follow, because anybody can do this. It's fun, it's exciting, and every one that you do, you'll get better. So it's always good to have a center line. You can find the center of your wood. So that would be our center line right here, kind of crooked. I'm not saying I'm perfectly not crooked. anyways, so this would be your forehead right here. So wherever you place the eyes is going to be your forehead up here. Up here. I like to do my wood spirits with a smaller forehead than a bigger forehead. It's easier to start off with a smaller forehead than a bigger forehead because when you have a big forehead, it can look like a mongoloid. If you have a smaller forehead, it looks like a wood spirit. But we also want to give this guy some hair going up here too, right? So let's put our forehead um, right here. Sticks and Stones Kevin there. I learned from him that the forehead comes in, if you're doing sharp angles, it comes in three. So you got one here, two, three. So 1, 2, 3. You can round it out later. You know what? We don't have much room there for the hair and stuff to go up here. So let's bring the forehead down a little bit lower. You might as well do it. So 1, 2, 3. You might as well do it. Draw it on before you start carving it because, well, the more wood spirits you do, the less you have to draw on. Trust me. They're fairly easy to do and they're fun, like I said. It's a great hobby. Okay, so there's that. There's our forehead. We'll carve this line out of here, not pay any attention to it. So our nose, this piece kind of goes, it's got a little bend to this piece, I think. So, but let's just kind of we'll just kind of put our nose. So you follow your center line. Now there's scales, our eyes. Just put a straight line across here for our eyes. Make sure the forehead's not too big. So there's our eyes. Try and draw it straight on. This wood spirit's not going to have real eyes. It's going to have hollow eyes. Wood spirits do not have to have real eyes. Wood spirits are just a spirit living inside the wood. They're not wizards. They're not real people. They're spirits of the wood. So you try and find me a wood spirit that's a real wood spirit that has real eyes. Well, I'll say you're delusional because that's because. So there's scales you can do for the eyes. We're not going to do that. There's scales you can do for the nose. We're not going to do that. We're going to give this guy a fairly thick nose, not too long. Now, I've repeated this on 1,000 videos. When I first started doing the noses, I think it's important not to draw the bridge of your nose on too thin like this. So pretend we left this thick here. It's better to leave the bridge of your nose thicker and carve it thinner than draw it on too thin, carve it too thin, then try and make it thicker. Okay? So what I'm talking about is don't draw it on like this. So it's like a point up there, and then your eyes come across here because you're going to have to carve really deep to fix that problem. So leave it thicker. Makes sense, right? Carve it thinner later. So our eyebrows are here. Our nose is on. Said it a million times for the Dremel carvers. I always make this for the very beginners. Make this side and this side of the nostril the same. Okay? I can see right now this side's a little bit bigger, so I'll just make this one a little bit bigger. And this angle, you got one half of the nostril, the other half of the nostril. This angle, the same angle. So it looks pretty good to me. The angles are pretty well the same. It's the same thickness. Good. So we don't have to draw our mustache on now, but we will. But we're going to end up carving our mustache away. But so let's, because I got to remember to keep this very simple. So you can have your mustache coming down like this, straight down, inside of your mustache like this. You can have it like that. But let's kind of make this one come off to the side and this one come off to the side. Okay, so when we carve below this nose, we're going to carve some of this mustache away, but we can draw it back on after. So what I'm going to do now is get my Dremel 4000 with the Kutzall bit. I'm going to carve across this line here, right? I'm going to remove some of the wood all here, and then I'm going to carve this nose. We'll carve the forehead back in deeper slope like this, because we want our forehead to go slope like this, and we want our nose to go slope like this too. So I got to remind myself, beginners, Jordy, beginners. Make it so everybody in the world can carve this. I'm such a fast, freaky carver. I'm going to do my best to slow down, but if I speed up too fast, I apologize in advance. So I'm going to do a cut across here, remove some of this wood, even where we got the bridge of the nose carved on, drew on. I'm going to remove some of that wood. Okay? Turn the fan on. 3, 2, 1, ignite. Also, for the very beginner, some people will comment on this video, what's a good type of wood to use for the very beginner if you can't get cottonwood? This stuff's super soft and it holds great detail. Cedar's good, pine's good for these types of bits. The drier the wood, the better. Cedar's good, pine's good. I'm trying to think of basswood is good. It's soft, but it's fuzzy. Birchwood's good, but it can be fuzzy. That's okay. You can just sand the fuzz away using something like this with Scotch-Brite. We'll talk about that later. I think cedar and pine are probably the most available wood around the world, so I'd suggest the cedar or the pine. So now you can see I got this cut here across for the eyebrows. So our eyebrows will be where I'm tapping. Now I'm going to remove the wood below the eyebrows here. Okay? 3, 2, 1, ignite the fan. Okay, so there. Where are we here? There's our eyebrows, all right? And there's the slope for our nose. Now we're going to redraw our nose on, but I didn't carve deep enough. I left the bottom of the nose there with the pen. So we'll just redraw this back on. Don't be afraid to redraw it back on and redraw your center line back on, okay? Center line is very helpful to have. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to carve on the outside of this nose all the way around. All right. Then I'm going to remove the wood on the outside of the nose. And we'll talk about this after. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. Okay, so you see the cuts are in there now? Now I'm going to start removing the wood all the way around. All right, so there's our eyebrows. There's our nose popping off. We're doing pretty good. Now, in real life, like I said, we're not trying to carve a wizard. We're not trying to carve a real face. We're carving a Dremel Woodspirit. In real life, the nose sticks farthest off the face. Uh-oh, I see a crack here. I see a crack right in there. This is what you get with the bark. See that? This nose is going to pop off. So this is a good time to demonstrate. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take this nose off because I don't know if you guys can see. Watch right there. See that crack? That whole nose is going to pop off. See it moving? So what I'm going to do first, before I fix this nose with some glue, I'm going to carve this forehead and slope it back too. Gives your face movement, not so flat, right? So I'm going to carve deep on across this line, and I'm going to remove the wood. Okay, it's carved in there. Now I'm going to remove the wood. And don't be afraid to carve your eyebrows. I might carve these eyebrows actually right off, because if this wood's cracked right here, that crack, this crack is going to continue. Okay, let's show you. Here's a nose. This crack is going to continue up. Let's see here. Your crack, this is your crack. It's going to continue up here. Guaranteed it is with this spark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to carve these eyebrows deeper. I'm going to carve these eyebrows basically right off. When I carve these eyebrows off and carve this forehead back, you're going to remove that crack in the wood. So don't be afraid to carve your eyebrows off and flat to the face again, then recarve them in deeper. Like I said, a lot of my other videos, carve deeper. So I'm going to do some fast, crazy carving here. See that piece just fly off there? That piece just flew off here. That's because we hit the crack. Okay, we still got our eyebrow lines there. We don't have much wood left there, but I'm just going to do another cut across. See that little piece fly off there? That was the crack. Now let's cut beside this nose again. Cut beside the nose. Remove the wood. Okay, so the forehead, let's just push it back, slope back a little bit. Pushing back means carving deeper. Okay, let's slow down, turn off the fan. Now, I said I was going to carve pushing that forehead back. I carved fast, pushed it back. We're getting in some wetter wood in... Slow down, Jordy. We're getting into some of the wetter wood the deeper we carve into this, and it's becoming a bit more fuzzy. Not a problem. Now this nose, I know this nose is going to pop off from that crack. Now, the thing is, do we want to pop this nose off and glue it back on, or do we want to recarve it? You could pop this nose off. Okay, let's pop it off. Boom, there she goes. Actually, I got to carve a little bit deeper below the nose. There, boom. There's the nose. You learn this stuff from experience for carving more. So now, what you can do with this nose, don't sand it, don't touch it, because this grain on this nose matches this grain on this piece perfect. So you can get some glue, and you can glue that on right now, some epoxy or whatever you want to do, and it will match perfect. But I think, because we have enough depth in this wood, we can recarve the nose deeper, we can carve the forehead deeper, we can carve the eyebrows deeper, we can carve deeper. Okay? The nose does not have to stick farthest off the face. I say it should, on lots of my videos. That's for when you're kind of going for realism. This video is we're not going for realism. So let's get this, tuck it away, toss it away, and recarve our nose on. So we got to redraw it on. Boom, boom. We're going to cut real deep. So with the nose, a rule that I usually have is the deepest cuts on the carving are right around here. So I'm going to cut deep in there. And then you're going to see me, look at this nose. You got to slope it back. You got to slope it back again. It's okay. If you want to just follow along, here we go. 3, 2, 1, ignite the fan. Okay, so there's your cuts around there. I got some, be careful with your burrs. You don't want to cut too deep in there because this burr will catch, pretend there's a wall on this side and a wall on this side. It will catch and you'll break your inner flex shaft. Now let's start removing the wood around it. Okay, so on the Facebook group Carving Fusion World of Wood Carvers, I see people carve their mustache and to be very beginner carvers. It's okay if you do, but I see them carve their mustache and when you got this big bump here. I call this a cut bump, right? So remove some of this wood. Like this, I want to plane this wood out like that. I want to remove all this wood here, make it smooth underneath the nose, and it will make you a lot easier to carve your mustache on later. And who knows, that split might even be up in here too that we had earlier. So I'm going to remove this wood below the nose. I'm hearing that weird rattle in here. I'm hearing that rattle sound where there's a loose piece of wood. But that's okay. There's our slope. There's our nose. There's the bottom of the nose. How far it sticks off is good. We can remove more of this wood later. So now we have to readjust. Look at this nose. It's a block. We have to slope the nose. Like that. I got to remove all this wood right here. So that's what I'm going to do. Then we're going to carve the eyebrows deeper again. Carve some of this wood lower. And just kind of make it somewhat, a little bit, so it looks like a face. Okay, so there our noses slope back again, right? Now look how high those eyebrows are. So let's carve those eyebrows a little bit lower too. Let's do it this way. So see how, so here's your eyebrows, here's your nose, here's the tip of your nose. See how pushing those eyebrows, carving them deeper, is making your nose pop off the face. So I'm going to do some more really quick, so remove some of this wood. I might have to slope the forehead back again. It's okay. Perfect. Now look at that. Would you look at that? Let me get a pen. Here's the tip of the nose. Here's your eyebrows up here. See if we can get some better shadows here. Tip of your nose. Your eyebrows. Let's get this pen. Boom. Your nose sticks farthest off the face. That's how you do that. Now, what should we do next? Let's do our mustache. Also, so look how much wood we got here for the hair. There's tons of wood there for the hair. If you want, you can carve this lower. Like carve lots of this wood lower, make it closer to the forehead. Or you can just do cuts like this to give it like kind of like Elvis hair. But we'll talk about that after. Let's draw this mustache on. We're just going to go like, actually before we draw the mustache on, we're going to shape the nose. So don't be afraid to redraw your center lines on again. There you got two halves of the nose. So this, it's hard to explain, but this, I carve it so it's like a triangle, because your nose goes like a triangle. It's pointy, right? But not too much. Don't remove too much wood on the sides here. And this is when you really want to take your time for the very beginning Dremel carvers. So I'm just going to take my time and slowly remove the wood. I'm going to shape it. I'm going to jump from this side to that side, this side to that side. I'm hearing that rattle sound again. I wonder if this nose wants to break off. I don't think so, but I'm hearing it right here. Okay, so there's our nose somewhat shaped. You see it's more like a triangle now? Good enough. So our nostrils. Now, redraw our center line on. Your nostrils, I just go like this. And like that. And then I go down here. I just do it. I push really soft here. And I push harder down when I get to, once I get past the nostril onto the face, I push harder and cut deeper there. Same with this side. Really soft, then harder and deeper here. Then when that's done, you're going to see me remove some of this wood like that. Like, let's see, so there's no shadows. I'm going to remove some of this wood to get that nostril to pop off the nose. Does that make sense to you? Okay, so 3, 2, 1, do the nostril. Okay, you're past the nose, now you're on the face, now push. Same with the other side. Okay, so now we can remove some of this wood alongside of the nose to get the nostril to pop off. Don't be afraid to cut beside the nose. Don't be afraid to cut right here on the face, beside the nose, to get the bridge of your nose to be more sticking off the piece. So we're just going to do a little cut here. And we're going to remove some of that wood. This is not the best piece of bark to be showing you guys on this because the deeper I get it, the wetter it gets and it's getting fuzzy. So there, our nostrils are carved in. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'll touch it up. Let's get rid of the center line. Our nostrils are carved in because we cut up there, we remove some of the wood here. Now, you see where I did this cut deep here? I'm going to push this mustache. Pushing means carving. I'm going to push it deeper into this crevice. Okay? And same on this side. Okay, so now I think is a good time to take a break. Put your piece against the wall and sit and drink your coffee, stare at it, and think what you can do better. Stand by. To show you guys what I do is I carve a hole in the back and I got a nail on my back wall here and I just put it on the nail. That's how easy these are to hang up if you got a flat back. Okay, so now is a time where you want to sit back, relax, look at your piece, enjoy your coffee, your pop, your water, whatever you got, whiskey, Appleton's rum, which I love and I haven't drank in a long time. But anyways, now what I do is I look at my piece. The eyebrows are pretty well good. They're the same height to each other. My noses are always a little bit messed up because I rush them, but they look pretty good. That smile line comes up the nostril. This one is a little bit lower. No big deal. We could adjust that later. The forehead's not too big. We still need to carve this guy eyebrows in, which is not hard. We want to split the eyebrows, right? So we'll remove this wood here, and then we'll get an eyebrow up here, and then an eyebrow up here. So by splitting the eyebrows, carving deeper here, carving deeper on the outside of the eyebrows, and removing the forehead back once again. It's all removing. So now, how do we want to draw our mustache on? There's so many different ways. There's a couple different ways. Well, there actually is so many different ways. So you have your center line here. You can have your mustache coming down like this, like that. You can give it a open lip and remove some wood in there, and then remove some wood on this side to get your lip to pop off. You can make the lip hang down any which way you want. So he's like an old Woodspirit. You can make it round, or you can do your mustache like this to show a bottom lip there. So we'll go like this, and then we'll go like this. So there's the mustache there, and then you just go like this for your bottom lip, and there's the bottom lip. This is more of a meaner looking Woodspirit. When you get the bottom lip in there, they usually look frumpy, like frumpy old men, but that's okay. They're allowed to look cranky, but they're good spirits. Wood spirits are they get rid of the evil spirits. So it's great. They're great for gifts. Even if your carving looks like a piece of junk, wood carvings are special. And like I said, even if it looks like you think it looks like a piece of junk, one of your friends won't think it looks like a piece of junk, and they'd love to have it in their yard or their house. Trust me. And once you get better at these things, a little bit better, they're good sellers. Okay, so coffee breaks over. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this one with the bottom lip. We're going to go like this, down here, then down here. We're going to carve not too deep under there. You want to make sure your bottom lip is kind of, well, how would it work? It's kind of flush with your eyes, if that makes sense, looking at a side view, but it don't matter. Like I said, this is not about realism. We wanted to make it look like a face, but not like, holy cow, look at that wizard carving you did, or the Viking. You know, it's just about, this video is about 100% learning and having fun. I can't rush it. I need to simplify it the best I can. I'm not a professional carver. If I tried to carve a real wizard, it kind of might look like it, but I think it will always kind of be a wood spirit. So that's me. Anyways, carry on. Gotta say sorry. I thought I was filming and I wasn't, and I started carving in the mustache. So what I'm gonna do, I drew it on like this. Okay, boom, boom. I drew it on here and I cut. So let's pretend we're doing that again. And we'll just go a bit deeper. So I'm gonna cut across here, then here, then here, then remove the wood in the middle. Now I'm going to remove the wood. Now our mustache is elevated off the face, right? There's a mustache here. Go like this. Right? Then go like this. There you go. There's our mustache. Now the bottom lip. Let's get a pen. Normally I wouldn't use a pen, but for you guys, absolutely. So there's going to be our bottom lip. I don't like to make my bottom lip too big. Smaller bottom lip's better than, I think, than a bigger bottom lip. So we're going to cut on this side of the lip and remove the wood. Okay, there's our bottom lip exposed. Okay, so there's our bottom lip. I don't know how well you guys can see, but there's a bump there. So now let's do a little bit deeper below it. Okay, so there it is. So on a real person, your bottom lip's not flat. The face is round. So what we want to do is we want to carve deep on this point, deep in there, and then deep here, and then round the lip off. So watch this. Now let's round the lip off. There you go. It's round. I know sometimes it's hard to see on camera. So also when you cut, if you want to switch burrs, get a thinner burr, you can cut really deep inside there and inside here, because later on when you get more skills and advanced, if you put like a stain on here, then you sand it to get the high and low points, the stain will stay in these corners deep in here, and it will give it a nice effect, acting like it's deep in each corner. I don't know if that's a bit too advanced for you, but so now, since I carve so deep in these corners, the mustache sticks far off the face. So the mustache doesn't need to stick that far off the face. You can see right here. So let's take the mustache down a bit lower. Other side. Okay, so there, the mustache is much lower to the face. Now I'm going to fix this nostril line. See how easy I'm carving around the nose, taking my time, light touch, do side by side, trying to even out. It's good enough. My nose always kind of seem like they're honkers, like, so here's it straight on, they kind of like hang down. It's okay. If I wanted to correct that, I would just carve some of this. No, I'd get my Dremel bit and carve some like this way and remove it so, and make it more like that, but that's all right. So the nostrils, I know I'm getting a little bit rushed now. The nostrils, all I do is push up with my burr and push in there. Go to this side, try and get the same cut up. Whoa, whoa, thing just took off. I hit the pedal. Okay, so let's do that. Whoa, I just had a blowout. You guys can see there I had that blowout in that nostril, so it happens. When I had that blowout here, all I do is, you know, like, I'm not going to try and get some wood glue and sawdust and fix that. I just try and make the other side the same. That's all. So let's work on the eyebrows now. Sorry about that, everybody. Okay, so we're going to split the eyebrows, carve on the outside of each eyebrow, and push the forehead back. Okay. That's really all there is to it. You know, you can push these foreheads, these eyebrows even lower. You carve these eyebrows right off, recarve them in. It's just keep curving deeper, experiment, and take the time to practice, I guess the word would be. So we're pretty well on point here. There's our face. Now let's... Wood spirits do not have to have the real eyes, real looking eyes. If you're going to go for the real looking eyes, go for it. But I'm suggesting for the very beginners, just when I started carving wood spirits, I still do to this day. I carve them hollow eyes. They're spirits. They do not have to have real friggin' eyes. So all I do is I don't go straight under the eye. I push it up underneath the eyebrow. Let's show you. I think this is a good angle right here. And then I pull down on the corner. I don't go up. You can, but I like to pull down. There's one. There's two. Just like that. Try and make the length of the eyes the same. Let's go a bit deeper under there. Round the face off a bit. You can take the bridge of that nose down a bit again. I'm reshaping this eyebrow to match the other one. Very well, good enough. That's all you need. Okay. Now let's um let's do the beard hairs. I'm gonna carve it in super quick with this burr, and I'm just gonna go like this. You can make them straight. You can cross them. I like to cross them slowly, not like bam like this, but nice and smooth. I'll show you. So there's some straight cuts. Now, if you do it with a super thin little like saw zip or something like that, you can make these look really awesome by doing straight. But what I do is I go like this and I slowly cross it over. Not like boom, like that. Just let the burr do the work. Can make some deeper spots in there. I have to clear this wood here because the mustache is going to come off the face here. Like here's your face. The mustache has to come off the face here and connect down here. Okay, so there's your some mustache beard hairs. There's so many other ways to do it, but this is the easiest. Now, we'll try and give this guy a little bit of cheekbones. So you got your eyes here, and we'll just kind of go like, you can make it go round like that. Just carve Rob. He's another Woodspirit carver. He makes his cheekbones go round like this. I just kind of myself just go like this, and I remove some of this wood here underneath the eye to make it seem like it has cheekbones. It's kind of hard for me to explain, but if you want to watch and follow. Okay, now just kind of remove some wood there. Just kind of like that. Just quick and easy, fast, nothing. So you got that bump here, right? That's for your beard hairs. Right there. So all you do is just... Now my beard hairs, when I'm bringing them down to match, because you got to match these ones, I just go like this, and I slowly... Okay, I start this way. Then watch how I kind of slowly bring it this way to match these ones down here. Same with the other side. You can round them off a bit. Okay. You can come back and cross these ones too. Now let's quickly carve in the beard hair, the mustache hairs. See, I'm coming up and over from the inside. Little one here, little one there, little one here, little one there. Make that lip a bit better. Okay. Look at that. So now we're gonna switch up one burr that I really suggest everybody has, but this hair. Let's get this hair done while we'll still have this burr on. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut like crazy, and I'm gonna draw this on, cut here, make it kind of smooth and flowing. Give it some curve in there. So see the curve, then swooshing, nice, make it just nice and flowing. This will kind of have like the Elvis hair, like it's blowing up in the wind. See how that works? Okay, so now it has square edges right here. So see that, how it's kind of like goes like this, then boom, make it round. So I'm going to remove these square edges. Make it so it comes off the forehead smooth. Sometimes you have to do some more cuts. Okay, so what I was doing there, I was carving deep in there because that would be like a deep undercut, so you can just carry on the hair underneath there. It separates the hair from the bark piece itself. If you look at it, you got shadows and the hair tucks underneath there, so carve deep. But once again, if you got harder wood, be careful when you're carving deep in there because you could break your flex shaft once again. So I think we're pretty good. Now let's get the one other burr that we're going to use. It is aluminum cutting burr. And stand by, please. Okay, So these burrs, these are the ones that I suggest. The Ufuto inspected, because, well, these are the safe bet, and this is what I've been using for years. These are in my Amazon store listed below. These are aluminum cutting burrs. Don't be mistaken with the metal cutting burrs. These have the bigger cutting flutes on them. So I think you get like sets of 10, all different shapes for like probably $20. These are awesome for hardwood. They act like planers. So the one that I have in my Dremel now has a square edge. See that edge is square? It's like a flute, or I forget the name of it, but it's got cutters on the bottom of it too. So pretend pretend this is the wood, this case. I get this burr and I run it on edge, on this edge right there, to do the eyebrows, to do the age lines on the forehead. You know, you could also use this to carve beard hairs. They make them fine, they make it thinner, but we're not going to do that in this video. I got lots of video using these bits. So anybody out in Australia or a place where you can't get lots of soft wood, these burrs are awesome for hardwood. You get 10 for $20, so that's like $2 a burr. So I turn this piece around and I'm going to do the eyebrow hairs. I just let the burr do the work. Okay, and then I spin it. I let the burr roll. So the burr wants to roll this way, so I let it roll. So there's our eyebrow hairs in there. I don't know how well you can see them. Now I'm going to do some age lines. You can do some lines underneath the eyes. There you go. We're on point. Let's pause, put the piece on the wall, and take a look at it. I don't know what you think, but I sure think it looks like a Woodspirit to me. Yep. So this wood has fuzzies. What I used to use before is these mandrels. Okay, you get these on Amazon, and once again, these are in my Amazon store. I think you get like 6 for $10 or $15 something, with this emery cloth sandpaper. Super soft stuff. Emery cloth is the cloth back sandpaper. You can see the cloth on the edge there. So, but what I've been using for the cottonwood bark, so it doesn't carve away lots of the details, sand away lots of the details when you use a sandpaper, I've been using Scotch-Brite. So, you know, you can get this stuff at the dollar store. It doesn't last that long, but this is the same mandrel as this, but Scotch-Brite, cut up little pieces. You put this on here, turn your Dremel down, and this works great for cottonwood bark to get rid of all the fuzzies, smooth things out, you know, because those this bark's soft. You don't want to remove all your detail, but this does do the sanding. Let's turn the fan on again, hit it with this a little bit, and end this video. One thing I say when you're using this, turn your Dremel down to like less than halfway, because this is hard wear on your Dremel. And just go around and clean up the piece. Not too much though, you don't want to lose your detail like your eyebrows and stuff. Get the bottom lip, get in there. Don't be afraid to spin your piece around to get into different areas. That's it. I'll finish this and then I'll be back. So remember what I said at the beginning of the video? I'm going to carve a basic Woodspirit with these 3 burrs, the Kutzall Extreme Flame Burr, this aluminum That's what it's called, cylinder burr, and this mandrel with this Scotch-Brite on it. I got the 3M. I believe there's the box of these in my Amazon store too. So here it is. If you follow those steps, your wood spirit will never look like mine. It will never look like anybody else's. It will look like yours. And that's the best thing about it. Because when you're done this, like I said, anybody can do it. When you're done it, you can sit back, you can grab your coffee, and you can enjoy your piece. Some of your friends might be like, when you first start, till you get the angles and the stuff, it's going to take a little while. Some of your friends might be like, what is that supposed to be? You say it's a wood spirit. They're like, well, what's a wood spirit? Say, well, it's not a wizard. Wood spirits don't need to have real eyes. It's just supposed to kind of be a face in the wood. And you're going to get those friends that are jealous and they're haters and they're going to say silly, stupid things. Don't pay attention to those people. Show your friends that encourage you, that say, that is friggin' cool. Maybe you can show me how to do it. Those are the friends that you want to show your pieces to. And don't be shy. Show your pieces to everybody. And you got to expect hater comments are going to come. Ignore them. Carry on. Get through it. The more you do, the better you're going to get. I promise you. Carving Fusion, over and out. Enjoy your coffee.